G'day guys, and welcome to another training video. So training a bit of legs here in my hometown of Hastings, down in Melbourne on the peninsula. It was a Friday night, about 9 PM at night, so solo session, just the way I like it. So obviously, as you can see, I'm doing a few warm-up exercises. I like to do 2 partial exercises from the bottom, 2 from the top, and then some isolation movements just to get the knees warmed up. Also a big fan of just doing some mobility movements before obviously getting to work. So warmed up on the leg extension, like I said, some partials, just trying to open up the hips, making sure the knees are nice and warm, plenty of fluid through there. And I did do a couple of sets on the leg curl. So, you know, same thing, just getting the blood moving around through the legs, making sure that everything's ready to work. So at the moment, my first exercise of choice on hypertrophy day is the leg press. I do 3 to 4 warm-up sets, usually increasing the weight by 4 plates, 2 a side, and dropping down the reps until I'm ready to work. So here I've got 528 pounds, so 240 kilos. Just repping a few out. I think I've got maybe 10 to 12, somewhere around there. Same thing, just getting the body used to the weight. This will be my second warm-up set of 704 pounds, so 320 kilos. Same thing, so just dropping down the reps, full range of movement, trying to really use glutes, quads, hamstrings. Yeah, making sure, like I said, the body's nice and warm, getting used to the weight. Otherwise, you know, come working set, it's going to be a lot heavier than it should be. So the third and final warm-up set is 880 pounds, so 400 kilos. I think I only did a few here. Trying to psych myself up, obviously, to get it going. If leg day doesn't give you anxiety, then you're not doing it right. So, yeah, it's something that always plays on my mind that day, for sure. Alrighty, so once we've warmed up, into the first working set, so I've got 981 pounds on here, so about 446 kilos. Always use the straps just because I've had a knee reconstruction, so I'll make sure that I'm keeping my knees nice and aligned. So a couple of things I don't go without on leg day is definitely my shoes. I get a fair bit of slack about them, but you know, that's something that I really feel does help my leg training in terms of being able to feel the ground or feel the piece of equipment that I'm using. So definitely can't go without those. I have forgotten them a couple of times on leg day and then decided to train something else. So definitely a big part of my leg day attire. Obviously knee wraps, just to, like I said, keep my knees nice and tight. And a weight belt for certain movements. So yeah, here we are. It takes a bit of time to get them on, but like I said, I'd rather take that time to put them on than blow a knee out. So first set coming up, I'm aiming for 3 sets of 12, and I don't increase my weight. I work on the progressive overload principle, so I might drop it down in terms of reps by a couple next week and up the weight, and then I'll cycle it around where I'll go back. So getting the body used to lifting the heavy weight and forcing it to adapt and hopefully grow some lean muscle. So 12 reps. Did have to fight for the last few, and I did in all 3 sets of them, but I'm happy to get the number. So on to the next one.
My dreams among the stars while I'm standing on the pavement, spinning around, lost and found, just trying to make a statement. Lift the weight off my shoulders and set me free. Let the birds in the sky is where I'd like to be.
Exercise number 2. So something that I don't see a lot of people doing, but you know, I feel like it's a really good movement in terms of hitting those hamstrings. Can hit a little bit of the lower back, but you know, if you're concentrating enough, pulling it through your hamstrings, and that's where it is. So I find it that I can really switch on my hamstring through that movement, and yeah, definitely a good exercise for me. Just exactly the same thing as the leg press, just warming up on a couple of sets. This is my first working set. So I've gone with 165 pounds, so 75 kilos. It might have been a little bit light, but like I said, I will increase it next week when I drop the reps a little bit. So same thing, I've gone for 3 sets of 12. Just trying to get a nice big stretch, pushing the glutes out towards the back of the wall and making sure that all the tension is through the heels, coming up through the heels, through the hamstrings and that glute attachment. So if you haven't done this exercise, definitely suggest you give it a go. Start off quite light, as form is obviously the most important thing. Making sure that you keep your back nice and flat and concentrate on pulling through your hamstrings.
Without gravity to hold us down, together we're on the side of the ground.
Exercise number 3 is just obviously 45-degree leg press calf raise. I don't usually use this machine for calves. I usually use standing or seated. I might do this every now and then, but the gym I was at didn't have a seated calf raise, so I opted for the 45-degree leg press. So same thing, warming up, 2 plates aside. This is my first working set. Next up, we have a favorite of mine. Not too many people like this exercise, but I really do enjoy it. I think that it puts a lot of tension through the quad. It can also put a lot of tension through the hamstring and the glute. But yeah, really do enjoy this exercise. Exactly like any other exercise I do, I make sure that I warm up thoroughly, get the body used to the weight before I continue on to my working set. So I've got 231 pounds on the bar here, so 105 kilos. I have gone heavier than this before, but trying to get that form right. As you can see how tight I've got my belt on, it's suffocating me a little bit through the midsection, but just making sure that my back doesn't come into play, as I have had some issues with it before. But yeah, 12 each leg, staying on the same weight all the way through, 3 sets. The second and third last exercise of my leg day is usually at the moment a leg extension, and I superset it with a seated leg curl. So 12 reps, exactly the same, staying on the same weight, a couple of warm-up sets before I get into, my working sets, and trying to hit that 12 rep mark. Here's the first working set of the leg extension. I've got 237 pounds on there, so 108 kilos. Trying to fight it out, trying to hit that 8 rep mark. On the leg curl, I'm going to go 222 pounds, 101 kilos. And, I do a few rest pauses when I'm obviously fatigued or can't push anymore, but I still try and hit that number. Just to make sure that I hit targets in terms of giving myself something to beat the week after. Last but not least, my leg day finisher is a barbell step up. So 165 pounds on the bar, so 75 kilos, 12 reps, and I really focus on trying to stay as upright as I can, making sure that you push through your heels, get those glutes helping you out a little bit more than the quads, but they do hit overall leg, and really good exercise to build power and strength. So if that's something that you've never done before, definitely recommend you implement it into your leg training. 3 sets, 12 reps, and the struggle was real at the end. Just a reverse angle, same exercise, the step ups to finish off. If you have any questions or any suggestions, I'm always open to criticism, constructive criticism on form. So comment below, leave a comment leave a message and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. I've got plenty more videos to come. I've got some really good stuff in the pipeline at the moment. I'm really excited to release that and show you guys. So, like I said, give it a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.